You're now live, thank you, Chair.
Bordar, Croesio, Gareth, Ratcliffe, Dewey, Bainabakaino. Good morning, welcome. My name is Gareth Ratcliffe and this is the meeting of the Brecon Beacons National Parks. Welcome for everyone attending today online and in person, and for members of the public viewing. First, we go into agenda item 1, apologies for absence. We've received 3, Mr. Craig Stevenson, Ed Jones and Professor John Hunt. Gemma, have we received any more apologies?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. We now move on to agenda item 2, correspondence. There's 2 letters received from Jane Hutt, MS, Cabinet Secretary for Social Justice, and there are 2 within the information pack. One is for Public Appointment Committee's report and also the Disability Employment report. Catherine, I believe you want to come in just on that one?
Yeah, just a point of information for members, on the disability employment. So Bainabakaino National Park Authority are currently a level 1 disability confident employer. We're working hard to gain level 2, which would put us on a par with some of the county councils, Powys, for example. But just to manage expectations, I think we would not have the resources to get to level 3, but that doesn't in any way detract from our commitment to being a disability confident employer.
Thank you very much, Catherine. And can you just pass on thanks to staff? I know there's lots of works we do, and a prime example is the project we did up at the visitor centres for allowing the disability vehicle to allow people to access open countryside. So there are things we are doing within the parks, and the Miles Without Styles project in my area has been, highly thought of. So there's lots of things we're doing, and it's good to see that on the employment side that we are supporting that as well. So thank you very much. Members, we've got those 2 comments there for the the 2 correspondence. Is there any other questions on these? No indications. Thank you very much.
If I could just
welcome
the commitment made by Jane Hutt to strengthen the diversity criteria here for public appointments. There's been a lot of reference in recent days and weeks to public appointments across the UK over things such as the BBC and so on, and the potential for sort of influence and so on. And I think some of the points made here, particularly in the times that we're currently living through, are particularly important. I certainly welcome that individually, and I hope other colleagues do as well.
Thank you very much, William, for those comments. We'll now move on to agenda item 3, declarations of interests. I've received none. Gemma, none received. Members, as always, as we go through the agenda, if something does come out that you feel you've got declarations of interest, can you declare at that point as per standard and standing orders? Thank you. Agenda item 4, public speaking. We've received no requests. But obviously, again, as always, we do encourage the public to look at our agendas, and if there is something that they wish to address the committee that's on the agenda, please get in contact through our website, and we encourage the public to engage with us. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 5, minutes, and this is to approve the following minutes of the authority for the 26th of September 25. Members, can I have a proposer and seconder, please? Steve, seconded by Liz. Thank you. Everyone put their hands down. Right, okay. Can everyone show their support with a show of hands, please? That is passed. Thank you.
Sure. Could you, as we're going along here, just say what page you're on as well, please? Help us all finding some of these for the agenda.
Okay.
Just to complicate matters.
You are complicating matters, Edwin, but thank you very much, because I know it's all appreciative of that. I'm afraid I'll be truthful, I can't do it at the moment because I've got the crib sheet going through there. I haven't got the numbers on it. But Gemma, can you add it for future reference? Because otherwise I'm doing screens on here for electronic hands, people in the room, and the paperwork here. So I won't be able to do it this meeting, but if we can add it onto the future agendas, that would be helpful. Thank you.
It's very helpful. As I said, it depends which one agenda you're looking at sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you for raising that, Edwin, and we'll address that. And again, if members' points like that, if you raise those to help our meetings and people viewing it, will be really helpful. Thank you.
Can I just clarify then? I'll take an action that on the chair's briefing sheet, I'll put page numbers for each item. So when we
Relating
get
to the report.
Discussing it.
Yeah.
And he may take attention.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. So that's passed. And then we also need to receive the minutes of the audit and risk the 2nd of June and the audit and risk EGM of the 11th of July. These are just for noting.
Chair, would propose their adoption.
You propose the noted
Individually or group?
No,
all together.
Sure.
So
Okay.
this is just for everyone's information.
Yeah, so it's for noting.
So
So
then noting as
for
well.
noting. Thank you, Councillor William, seconder. Thank you, Peter. Okay, can we have a show of hands to note that is passed? Thank you very much, members. Okay, moving swiftly on then to the next agenda item 6. And this is to receive the MPA action log since the last agenda. Thank you to Professor John Hunt. I know he's not here today, but I know he'll be reviewing this. So thank you, John, for sharing your information. And with myself and the Chief Executive, and that's been shared with members. Gemma, would you like to come in on the action log? Is there anything else to report?
No, I think the two actions that were from the last meeting, as you just mentioned, between publishing the agenda and this meeting, John has shared his report on the Google, like it was about the Google map showing the location. So that's with us now. And the letter reference for us to draft is drafted with the chair.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so chairman's announcements. So first of all, I'd like to thank my deputy for deputising me at the parade in Remembrance Parade in Brecon. I do have other duties as a standard bearer, so it is one of those days. I do appreciate you stepping in there. As usual, we got things running up to Christmas now, and there's lots going on. Our agenda's been quite full over there up until Christmas. We've got several meetings, we've got an EGM, and we've also got finance and audit. So I will be attending the All Staff Day on the 11th of December. Also, thank you to members who've logged on, and thank you to Gemma as well. Our members portal is now up and running. Members have been shared guidance notes on how to sign on and use the system. If any member is looking for extra support, Gemma is here to help you. And just to remind members, if you haven't signed on and you are looking to give apologies, please use the online system. Because we're trying to centralise it into one area, so it's for our better monitoring as we go forward. And we're into PDR season, so I've started last night. So Louisa, apologies, I should have welcomed you earlier for your first meeting. Louisa had the beauty of actually having the first PDR of the year. So if it goes downhill from there, so no. So obviously, as our members, we're always constantly trying to improve, learn, and etc.
Yeah.
So we're having our PDRs coming up over the next coming weeks. Thank you to officers in the background who supported in getting that forward. And obviously, we'll be having those conversations. And members are reminded to complete their feedback questionnaires as well before that, if you can. Obviously, because they're short windows to get them completed. And I look at.
I've done it.
Oh, brilliant. So, is there any questions for myself as chair? If I missed anything? No? All well trained. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So we'll now move on to agenda item 8, which is the Chief Executive's announcements. Kasia, over to you.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say too much to introduce that. It's obviously my second go at this, trying to bring us in line with other MPAs where the Chief Exec provides a written report. Obviously open to any feedback about usefulness, etc. Try not to duplicate other reporting mechanisms. And obviously now we have the portal. A lot of information will go on there for members, hopefully widening knowledge, etc. So yeah, happy to take any questions or.
Okay. Thank you, members. You've received the reports and you've read them. So any questions, Liz?
It's not a question, it's a comment really, just to congratulate the staff on the success of Fenrir Bro. It's been an amazing success. I hear about it in the community as well as hear it from staff. So well done, everyone involved, I think. In that one.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's really important. You know, there's lots of success with our staff do across the parks, and sometimes, you know, we forget that you know the work they do is exceptional, and I think that's the prime example of a really good project there. And just like to endorse those comments, and if we can pass those on to them. I've got two people speaking. I've got Aled, then I'll bring you in. Aled.
Yeah, diolch yn fawr, Cadeirydd. Just to say thank you for the report, which I think is excellent. And like Liz was saying, I think it's been particularly rewarding to be part of the Ffermio Bro process. And I think the crucial element there for me is, I think, a sea change in the relationship between the farming communities and us as a park and partners. And I think Katie in particular deserves all the credit that she richly deserves for doing that work. But I do think it represents a very good paradigm shift in our engagement with a key stakeholder group. And I'd like to thank Catherine for highlighting that so well. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Gareth.
Okay, so thank you very much. The next speaker we'll bring in is William.
John Cadeirydd, and just to add to what's already been said by way of recognition and congratulations to Katie, Bev and Diane and the team, because they're all excellent in that respect. And it's also quite a slender team in comparison with the staffing allocation in some of our partner Welsh national parks, as we experienced recently when we had our site visits up in Eryri. I just wanted to observe also that the Minister for Rural Affairs referred to Ffermio Bro explicitly in his address to the NFU Cymru conference, which Councillor Edwin and I were in attendance at, and also it came up separately at day one of the winter fair in conversation with a number of farmers who live within our territory. So again, just endorsing what Liz and Aled have said. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Steve?
Yeah, firstly, I just wanted to thank Catherine for the report. I think it's really helpful to have something that gives kind of a fairly wide-ranging picture of what's going on in the park. So thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And please keep them coming. I just wanted to pick a couple of things up from the correspondence and documents of interest that you mentioned. So the Landscapes Wales report has some really good recommendations about the importance of designated landscapes in terms of climate change, etc. I just wanted to ask, where are we in terms of the recommendations in there? Are we fully on board with them, and we kind of lined up to deliver them? So that was one. And the second one was around health impact assessments, and kind of where do we stand in terms of being ready to take those on board?
Yeah, okay, thank you. So first of all, the TCLW, Tywyddau Cymru Landscape Wales, I'm actually the vice chair of that at the moment. So Andrew from Wye Valley is the chair. And we've worked closely as a team to pull that together as a set of asks for weaving into any conversations ahead of the Senate elections. So we're not there yet with some of those asks, but we were also trying to really emphasise the importance of the landscapes collectively in terms of delivery and well-being for the people of Wales. So that, you know, that document sort of is a set of aspirations as much as anything. And then your second question, which was around the health impact assessments. So we've had a number of new duties coming on board. We've been working as an officer team, again, Gemma's done quite a bit of work on this to really raise our game on integrated assessments overall for our major strategic decisions. And we're hoping to be able to sort of really embed that into decision making over the next year or so. There was a questionnaire that came with the letter, which I filled in on behalf of the authority, seeking the help and support of the team in Welsh Government to provide us with some training and input to sort of gear us up to be able to do these health impact assessments. They're not something that we've done extensively before in the park, so I'd say our level of knowledge is relatively low in this area. But in rolling out the new duty, there is some support available, and we're going to be taking advantage of that. And also working out how to wrap it into our integrated assessment framework. Just a sort of note on that, it comes up in other committee meetings, but we are, unlike the other two parks, we don't have a post that's dedicated to performance risk and compliance. So I took a document to executive board and we've agreed a request to fill, and hopefully we'll be trying to recruit that post over the next few months to really drive the embedding of these types of assessments and our stance on risk and performance and compliance throughout the organisation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Catherine.
Thank you very much for those questions, and thank you, Catherine, for the response there. As there's no other hands, we'll move on. But just before we do, members, as Catherine said, this is the second time we've had this report. So any feedback on this report to obviously help it embed would be really helpful. So we now move on to section 9 of the agenda, which is items for decision, and we go to 9.1, which is the South East Wales Joint Committee appointments. Gemma, I believe it's over to you to take us through this report.
Deal with David. Please step in, anyone on Steve, if I get any of this wrong. So we've worked through these CJCs. We have a wide range of different roles sat on CJCs, from part with the main CJC. We've got a number of subcommittees. For the main CJC, there is the requirement for the full NPA to appoint the main CJC. At the AGM, we appointed, you can only appoint the chair, the deputy, or the chair of the committee with responsibility for planning matters. And at the AGM, we appointed Councillor Gareth as chair to Mid Wales, Mr. Steve Rayner as chair of planning to South East Wales, and Dr. Liz Bickerton as deputy chair to South West Wales. The South East Wales CJC, the Strategic Development Subcommittee stipulates that the appointing member cannot be the same member as appointed to the main CJC. We're all following? The coming year now, the Strategic Development Subcommittee is ramping up the work being done, and this work then is where more strategic development planning work will be addressed and relevant to the authority. So for this reason and discussions internally, I think it's been decided that Steve, as chair of planning, will move on to sit on the subcommittee, where that more relevant link will be now with the work coming up. And Gareth, you will cover both Mid Wales CJC and the South East Wales CJC, the main CJCs. So by making those moves, we still have the eligible office holders covering the main CJCs. We have the chair of planning sitting on the strategic development subcommittee, where this more strategic work for planning will be addressed. And in that, they've also, South East Wales CJC have asked for a formalised allocated reserve member to be able to, we don't want the meeting not go ahead on a meeting that we have voting rights. And so for this reason, Councillor Louisa Ascot, thank you for coming forward and is happy to be appointed as the allocated reserve member. So this paper is being brought back just because the full MPA has to appoint to these positions. So I'm asking that members agree to appoint Gareth Ratcliffe to South East Wales CJC as of the 1st of January. Agree the appointment of Councillor Louisa Ascot as the allocated reserve member for South East Wales CJC. We have delegated authority to appoint a subcommittee, so this is just to note now that Mr. Steve Rayner will move to the South East Wales Strategic Development Subcommittee as of the 1st of January. And just to make a note of that, thank you, Councillor Edwin, you have come forward, you're happy to be the reserve member for South West Wales. They don't ask for formal appointment there, but it's always handy to have somebody put their hand up to cover. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Gemma. I know it hasn't been easy for officers to try and get members and position everyone there. And Steve, thank you, because I think where you'll go in is a really important committee, because it's more of the workhorse of the committee there. So that's really important. But I would like just to say, you know, for the public viewing, we sit across 3 CJ3s. This puts a lot of resource pressure on our staff as well. Not, you know, us as members, yes, we have committees, but actually the resource and the officers' impact on here is really, you know, high for those 3 members. Members, it's in front of you. Are you happy to take it on block? Yeah, I don't see any consent. So,
yeah, we're happy to just take if we're happy to then just take a formal vote.
Yeah. So before we go to formal vote, I just need a proposer and seconder to go to the vote. Peter, Jeremy, thank you.
Yes, this is happy to cover both recommendations.
Yep.
Councillor Gareth Ratcliffe to go to the main CJC, and Councillor Louisa Abscott to be allocated reserve member for South
Yep.
Wales. Thank you all. Sorry, who was proposing second?
Proposed Peter, seconded Jeremy. Allow us to go to the vote.
We go to vote. If I run through names, if you can please indicate to abstain. I'll start with Councillor Edwin.
Yeah, what did you want now, did you?
For
Paul Caldwell.
Oh, why?
I didn't touch anything there.
Councillor Simon Howard,
Bly.
Councillor Liam Cowell,
4.
Dr. Liz Bickerton,
4.
Mr. Steve Rayner,
For,
Councillor William Howell,
Obliged.
Councillor Gareth Ratcliffe,
Obliged.
Councillor Hugh Williams,
Obliged.
Councillor Jeremy Davis,
Obliged.
Councillor Peter Baldwin,
For.
Mr. Julian Stedman,
He didn't.
I live, Fred, that was obliged.
Councillor Alice Edwards,
Obliged.
Councillor Louisa Abscott, Councillor Peter James,
For.
and Councillor Handel Davis.
Obliged.
Fel Councillor Cymru Cymraeg yn brigad yn siarad. Da iawn.
That's your hand.
So that's unanimously passed. Thank you very much. We just move on to the second part. Can we have a show of hands to note the appointment of Steve Rayner to the South East Wales Strategic Development Committee of the 1st of January 26, and obviously Edwin's as well. Okay, just for noting. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That completes the for decision agenda section. So we now go on to section 10 and the items for information. So first of all is 10.1, the Financial Sustainability Working Group Report. Catherine.
Yep, diolch Cadeirydd. Just one to for information, it's actually just a note, this paper, but it's the sort of reconstruction of a working group that we already had with members looking at.
Sorry, one moment. Handel, was he frozen? I think he's frozen.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think we carry on. Sorry.
he's giving you a high five.
Yeah, I thought you'd be very serious then. With a really long pause with your hand up, Handel. Your camera had frozen. Apologies,
Yes.
everyone. Catherine.
I'm back now.
So everyone's aware, and it's later in, we had the Audit Wales report on our financial sustainability position with a single recommendation, which asks us to look at our medium and by implication long-term financial planning. We've had a member working group on finance and resources and also looking at income diversification. So this is a sort of a more holistic working group of the National Park Authority rather than the Finance and Resources Finance and Performance Committee, reflecting how sort of central this is in terms of importance to work with officers to really get to grips with this medium-term financial strategy to meet the recommendation from Audit Wales. So this will look at everything from savings to our commercial strategy, to our natural capital development strategy, the setting up of our new trust, you know, a whole suite of activities. So it will be really quite a significant working group that we need to drive our strategic direction forward. So yeah, that's the sort of proposition, and then it's really just to seek you know, members to come forward and sit on that committee, on that working group. So.
Okay, thank you very much. The report is here for noting. Any comments? No. Okay, members, just show of hands to note. Thank you, that's passed. We'll now move on to the Wales audit letter. And that is in front of you. You've had the report, Catherine, I think is as said. Anything you wish to add to that at the moment?
Just a note, I think this is a really significant letter for us. Yep. You know, we've been working towards these statutory recommendations all the time that I've been Chief Executive. I think it's really a welcome letter, noting that we've concluded the actions that we could, but obviously takes nothing away from our need to really focus on our financial sustainability, as we've just spoken about, and really making sure that our capacity, our officer capacity and our capacity to work with partners is matched to Dyfodol Banai and the role we're trying to achieve. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll now bring in Chair of Audit, William.
John Cadeirydd, I just agree wholeheartedly with what our Chief Executive has just said in terms of the significance of this. We're 3.5+ years into the life of this council term, and the experience of many of us within Banau Brycheiniog, and I think it's one of the most significant pieces of correspondence that we've received, and certainly that I received as chair of audit. Absolutely no grounds for complacency, and we've got to be on our mettle in terms of current and future challenges. But I think the value of this is that we have the opportunity to redouble our focus on the challenges coming up on the horizon. That's really important. I think it would be remiss of me not to make special reference to the contribution that Hugh Rees, our consultant, appointed and supported by Welsh Government, has brought to the table. And also, I think it would also be remiss not to name our new head of Democratic Services, who's sitting to my left, because Gemma has played a key role in facilitating this improvement, and I know she'll do so in the time to come. So, Diolch yn fawr iawn, thank you very much for that. And I think we should potentially, if we haven't already done so, which we may have done, we should write to Mr. Hugh Rees formally to alert him to the news that I'm sure he's already aware of, and to thank him wholeheartedly for his support and guidance in this last 18-month, 2-year period. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And can I just echo those comments around everyone involved, because obviously there's been key people who played a key part in this. So thank you to Hugh and Gemma and everyone else. Can we have an action log to write these parts of the minutes there? I'm just going to bring in Aled next.
Yeah, diolch, Cadeirydd. Just to affirm what colleagues have said, I think we need to be fully celebrating this achievement. It is very, very significant, and thanks to the skills and the patience of all involved, I would very much concur with what William has said. And I think it is something that we should note and celebrate fully, but I'm sure we will do that, and we've already noted it. But I just really wanted to add my voice that this was hard work over 3 or 4 years, and it's a major achievement. So diolch yn fawr, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aled, and obviously your part you played as chair there as well has been much appreciated. So before we know the report, I would say obviously as chair and by chair previously, you know, I really appreciate all the work that everyone's done and the work's background from committee members here and also the staff. Yes, it's something to celebrate. It's really good, but actually we still got a lot of work to do. The authority on both sides of the membership and also the employee side, and there's lots of changes as we look at our financial restrictions that are coming forward and our budgets and everything else, and how we'll operate in the future to future-proof this authority. So yes, it's something to celebrate, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to allow us to make sure that we're on sound footings as an authority for many years, and how the authorities with funding and how the authority will adapt and change over future years. I think it's one of those conversations, whilst brilliant, but we need to keep our eye on the game as such to make sure we're moving forward. So thank you very much. That was for noting. Can we just have a show of hands and note the report? Thank you very much. We'll now move on to the Historical Environment Partnership Annual Progress Report 24-25. Thank you to Julian talking about this. Obviously, we're reviewing our committees and what comes to this committee. This is a report that used to come many years ago, and Julian's highlighted it. And obviously, as we've changed, carry on from the previous one, this is one there. So it's really good to see this report here. And on that note, I'm going to bring in Julian to say a few words on it. Julian.
Yes, just a very few words, Chair. I think the report speaks for itself. It demonstrates, I think, just how much collaborative working is going on between National Park and various other stakeholders in the park. I think at the end of the report, you'll see the very senior representation we've had. These organisations have sent their senior colleagues along and they fully participate in the work, and it's really quite exciting. Liz Bickerton represents the Brecknock Society, but also is a member of the park, and it's great that she's continued on this panel as we've taken it forward. So I'm really delighted to, as Deputy Chair, to be involved in this. And I want to give a particular word for the collaborative working that we're doing. The Tramroads project, which we're working on with the Park Society, is making a lot of progress. Hopefully we'll see some fruits of the labour that they've been doing fairly soon. And I think it just demonstrates the kind of way that the authority can work together with other bodies to achieve things that we couldn't do on our own. So I would very much support and recommend that approach elsewhere. And I'd like particularly to thank Alice Thorne and for her team, who have facilitated and encouraged and cajoled and done all the things that are necessary to make this partnership a real success. So thank you, Alice. I don't know whether you're watching, but we do value all that you do. I think that's all I need to say, really. Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you very much, Julian, and just to echo those thanks out there to Alice and everyone involved. It's really important work. Members, if there's any other questions, comments, Edwin.
Thank you, Chair. Regarding the tram road here, I have brought it up before once, but members who were involved with that, there was a great deal of work done and research done with the late Tim Powell from Sennybridge, who has, there's many writings been done about it, etc., and history, even coming up to Kinnewer Estate, where the old lime kilns were, etc., etc. Anybody involved with that, if they're looking for any help or research or funding, whatever it was, there's no funding, but get in touch with us. I'll tell you what it is. It's an encyclopedia of knowledge.
Thank you, Edwin. That's really good to know, because I'm sure there'll be people observing in this meeting who'll hopefully take you up on that. So that's good to share that information. Okay, William.
Okay, David. I would just like to mention one sort of area of policy detail, and then just say a couple of words, if I may, about the contribution that Mr. Julian Steadman has made. I think one thing that I would have hoped was referred to, but it may be that because it looks back at an earlier period, it isn't. So it wasn't captured in that way. But that was to mark the important opportunity that comes to us within Banau Brycheiniog, working in partnership with our constituent authorities, and in this context, principally with Powys County Council, in terms of the Transforming Towns funding at a time when we've got very considerable overall challenge in the high street. I think there's a really strong opportunity there, and I've seen evidence of some good collaborative working between our authority and the regeneration function within Powys County Council in settlements such as Brecon, Crickhowell, Talgath, and elsewhere. And I think that should be a real focus in the time to come, because that money is also time limited. And I think it's important that we have early doors a refreshed commitment to working to making sure that that money doesn't return to the coffers of Welsh Government, and I'm sure that's our intention. And also, I'd just like to reiterate our thanks to Mr. Julian Steadman for his work. Also, perhaps by way of segue, in terms of the wider heritage commitment that Julian has shown during his membership of the authority. He was also the instigator of the recent Celtic Roots Festival in Crickhowell and the communities adjacent to Crickhowell, which was, I understand, an unqualified success. And I think we should, we got real cause to thank him for his work in this respect. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those. And yes, Julian, thank you for your work that you've done on this over the years. I know it's been a passion of yours, so much appreciated. So members, are we able to show hands to note the report, please? Thank you very much. That was items for information and noting. We now move on to section 11, and this is for noting. 11.1, sustainable procurement policy. Members, you've had the report. Any questions, comments? Liz?
I just wanted to welcome the is it paragraph 8, where we talk about some sort of social value. Because I think this did come up at a previous meeting, and I'm glad to see that in. It will need some unpacking, but I think anything that we can do as an authority to support our communities, our local communities, through that sort of power, and I think that's very welcome indeed. So I look forward to perhaps expanding on that as we go forward.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, members? No? Okay. Everyone happy to note that? Yep. Okay. Thank you. 11.2, draft remuneration annual report 26-27. Report we get every year. Members, are you happy just to note this report?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Now 11.3, procurement extension report. Any questions, comments? No, everyone's happy to note it. Noted, thank you. And then we move on to 11.4, summary of consultation responses. And those are within there, are provided on behalf of the authority. You've seen those. Questions, comments as such, even as just for noting? No? Okay. Members happy to note? Okay. Thank you very much. We now move on to agenda item 12. Any urgent business, and this is George's attention that we have an EGM on Wednesday the 10th of December for our annual accounts, so we encourage members to attend. It is a lunchtime meeting. It should one agenda item and should be done two agenda items. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
we have a member workshop then in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we've arranged, if we come into the member workshop, we can be in person, we can join online, and then go straight to the workshop.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I haven't received, as per standard orders, any other notifications. Handel, you've got your hand up. What's up for?
Just to apologise, I've got the full county council meeting on the 10th, which I've got to attend, so I won't be able to make the EGM. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you very much. And that is one of the things. Please, if you can give your apologies online, just to have a go, and can you mark it as the council business, because obviously you are absent and it needs to be registered the correct way, because it affects your attendance, because there are going to be times where members are appointed onto other committees and you have to juggle and pick which one you're on. So it's not like you're missing the meeting, it's you missing the meeting due to the work. So obviously, so it's marked fairly.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As there is no other urgent business identified me, it is now 20 to 11, and I'm going to bring this meeting to a close. Thank you very much for your attendance today, and a very swift meeting. I know it's one of those that come along now and again that are obviously just transactional.